Ride with me, Rebecca Grant, as each week Truck Stop takes you on a new and exciting adventure all about trucks. From the wildest jet drags and monster trucks to the most radical 4x4 rock crawlers and customs, Truck Stop powers up on America's new obsession with trucks.
Truck Stop, the series, will get big air in the desert, ride high over the most extreme off-road terrain, and go so low that we touch the ground. We cover it all, from performance projects for your ride to custom tricks that you can use to build a glimmering street machine.
This week, the truck stops in beautiful Big Bear, California, where we're going to satisfy your urge to get the winch out. That's right. We're going to get dirty, filthy as a matter of fact, as we take it off-road with expert driving guys like Rick Russell and the Toyota Territory Off-Road Association. So stick around, because we're going to show you how to turn your truck into a true rock star. Our Truck Stop journey this week takes us to scenic Big Bear, California in the San Bernardino Mountains just outside of Los Angeles. This area is not only known for its beauty, but for some of the more thrilling and rugged off-road trails out there. Today we're going to explore some of the trucks built for these trails, and along the way, I may even learn a thing or two about off-roading. I teamed up with Totora, the Toyota Territory Off-Road Association. This group is one of the largest Toyota-based off-road clubs in the country, and they really take the sport to heart. Almost every weekend you can find them out there on the trails organizing yet another run and teaching beginners like myself the ropes. I joined up with them at their pre-trial meeting where President Lyle Treend and Vice President Jason DeMilo were reviewing some of the basics before heading out.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up to our 5th annual Big Bear Run. Just a reminder, when you're around the camps, so any camps you see or any bike riders or anything that's going in the area, slow down the miles per hour, keep the dust down, less than 15 miles per hour. Just be courteous to everybody who's out there, and so hopefully you'll be courteous too.
If you're on the trail and someone's behind you, make sure that person stays within sight of you. Don't leave them behind because they can break down.
This is the first time Lyle is taking his newly remodeled 2000 Toyota Tacoma 4x4 off-road for a test drive. Some of the noticeable modifications are his 37-inch Super Swamper tires and his shortened bed. He's taken 12 inches off the back to allow for a little more departure angle and added some off-road features like a winch and a tow strap for getting out of tight situations.
This tow strap is obviously going to worn a lot, but hopefully we're not going to have to use it for us today. Hopefully everything works good.
Lyle and Jason also noted that it's important to lower the tire pressure from 30 psi to 6.5. Doing this allows for a wider footprint, more control on the trails, and a softer ride. And hey, I'm all for that. All right, guys, so tire pressure check.
Mm-hmm.
Axles look good.
Yep.
Strong.
Yep.
We ready?
We're ready to go.
Let's roll.
All right. Let's go. Things got off to a rough start.
Is the front locking? Hey, dude, front wheel drive. Ah, the front's not locked. Hey, I forgot I have hubs. This is new.
Our first lesson of the day, make sure the wheel hubs are locked before hitting the trails. Now that the hubs are locked and we got the traction needed for this course, we're going to try it again. As I learned, not locking the hubs causes the wheels to just spin around the axle shaft that's connected to them. The vehicle acts as if it's in two-wheel drive, basically just rolling along. But when you lock the hubs, you engage the wheels to catch the axle shaft. This now transmits the necessary power out to the wheels and makes the wheels turn, giving you the 4x4 traction needed for these trails.
Whoa. Turn the drive shaft. Drive shaft.
Go.
Yep. No. Fill out.
Drive shaft. Smell it? Nice.
Yeah.
We enlisted the help of the Tutora guys to fix the truck. This is a prime example of why it's important to keep sight of fellow drivers on the trails. You just never know when someone will need help.
Oh.
Lyle, this is what you get for showboating.
Nah, this is just having a great time.
You showing off. My screams weren't enough.
That just fueled the fire. I thought you were saying, give me more!
So how did Lyle break the drive shaft on his truck?
The axle articulated down, which brought the axle to the very end of the splines. And at the same time, I was applying torque to the wheels, so it twisted the end of the splines. So instead of just taking off the drive shaft, I'm going to have to find a way to straighten these splines out so we can put it back in.
You're going to straighten these out?
Yeah.
Sure enough, the guys were able to straighten the splines, and Lyle is back in business. So far, our little off-road adventure has been pretty exhilarating. And in spite of the broken drive shaft, Lyle's truck is definitely trail-worthy.
When we come back, we'll show you some of the intricate modifications done to Lyle's undercarriage. Then later, Truck Stop goes vertical. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Big Bear, where Truck Stop is going off-road. It's on these trails that we learn the importance of modifying these trucks to make them off-road ready. But there's a particular story behind how Lyle's truck got modified. A few years ago, Lyle turned in his '92 Toyota for this 2003 Toyota Tacoma so he could transform it into a rugged off-road beast and conquer difficult trails like the ones at Big Bear. Before the modifications could begin, his reserve unit was called to active duty and deployed to Iraq for 16 months.
When I came home, I didn't see my truck in the garage, and my wife told me she'd trade in for a pair of shoes, and she owed the dealer $5 more.
Lyle eventually found his truck, not at a dealer, but at Jason DeMello's shop in Santa Ana, California. Jason and Lyle's other four-wheeling friends decided to do something special for him while he was in Iraq.
Lyle, just like me, loves off-roading. He's always willing to help somebody out. So we thought it'd be nice to grab his truck, get a couple friends together. We also enlisted the help from the guys from TTORA, the Tacoma board, and they were more than willing to donate money, time, and parts. While Lyle was away, we worked on things like his front bumper here. It's a custom front bumper, made for a winch, also made for high clearance, you know, for all those big rocks out there. A little upper protection for him for leaning into rocks and such. We also did custom sliders. They're designed to keep you off the rocks and away from the rocks and keep your rocker panels from getting dented up. We also did Lyle's truck something pretty custom. It's a 12-inch bed bob. These beds are normally 12 inches longer than what you see here. We basically cut the center section out, shortened it 12 inches, and welded it back up. Did a bunch of body work to it.
Once the body was complete, the next task was to convert the suspension to a solid axle configuration.
This here is a stock Tacoma truck with a little bit of lift. We've got Donahoe coilovers here, cambered upper arms, and this is how the suspension looked in Lyle's truck before we cut it all off. This is what we call IFS, or in the off-roading, rock crawling world, inferior front suspension.
The final step is to replace Lyle's springs and shocks, which they are installing today.
When Lyle got back, the truck was 99% finished. He really didn't recognize it when he got back. We've had him down here a couple times helping us out. It's always good to have him down here.
Jason chose to use new leaf springs from Deaver, a company known for its off-road racing history, and Bilstein's 7100 series shocks, which Jason felt would help control Lyle's truck both on and off the road. Replacing the shocks and springs in the rear end was easy. On the front end, however, the leaf springs would have to be customized to fit.
We got these Deaver leaf springs with exactly 10 leaves in them. We dropped them down to about 7, and that was too little. We're back up to now to about 8, and that should work out really nice. Right now they're trying to get the leaf springs back in position. We're going to do a little fine-tuning. This here is the bump stop, and we're probably going to have to trim it down a little bit or try another style of bump stop. Part of the process here is you got to fine-tune everything. Too little bump stop and your shocks will collapse into each other and crush them. Too big a bump stop and you have no up travel. But there is a happy medium there somewhere, and that's our job to find it. These here Bilstein 7100 shocks, they're probably the best shock for this application. They have the reservoir attached to them, so they have great cooling, and they're valve specific. We can change the valving on them to match this exact truck.
Thanks to the dedication of Jason, his crews, and the Tutora Group, Lyle's dream truck is now a reality.
I look at it as these guys over in Iraq, they have families, they have friends, they have, loved ones leave behind, and they go over there selflessly and do this for us. This is the least we can do.
The custom work in the shop shows how really rugged you can make your vehicle. When Truck Stop returns, Rebecca gets some off-road driving tips from trail expert Rick Russell. And there are more twists of fate on our Big Bear trail ride, so don't go away.
Hi, Rebecca Grant back with you on Truck Stop. After getting my feet wet on the trail with the Tacoma guys, I decided I wanted to try some off-road driving myself. So I went to the source, the man who wrote the book on off-roading, trail expert Rick Russell. We headed to the Gold Mountain Trail, rated most difficult here in Big Bear. Rick has been four-wheeling since the early 70s, and with his vast knowledge of off-roading, he decided to open up a company called Sidekick Off-Road. Rick produces trail maps and how-to videos and offers a lot of great advice.
Now, the first thing you want to look at under a Jeep is, or any vehicle you drive, is where do you have most of the ground clearance?
Okay. Rick explained that I should look to see where the differential, which is also known as the pumpkin, is situated.
Where the pumpkins are, I'd have to say that the most clearance will definitely be under the passenger seat.
And you're absolutely right. Maximum ground clearance is right underneath the passenger seat. And what you try to do is, with bigger rocks, instead of trying to straddle them, you actually run over them with the tire, and that lifts up all the undercarriage. But sometimes you have to straddle a rock. And you're absolutely right. If you're going to straddle a rock, your best chance of getting over it is right underneath the passenger seat.
Next, Rick pointed out the importance of locking the hubs. I knew this from Lyle's predicament on the hill earlier. Now it was time to head to the mountains for my chance to get behind the wheel.
Rebecca, remember what I said. Four-wheeling's all about the vehicle, how well equipped it is, the driver's skill, and luck. You feel lucky?
Rick, I was born lucky.
But that only counts for 10% of this.
Thanks.
We're already in third gear. Slow down. Yes.
Riding in Rick's 2003 Jeep AJ8 is pretty exciting. It's called AJ for Aftermarket Jeep because Rick built this ultimate 4x4 all from aftermarket parts. It's basically an aluminum body bob scrambler with the wheelbase of a Jeep CJ6. With its Curry coiled suspension, you get a great ride, both on and off the road. Even though Rick has 37-inch tires and 355 horsepower under the hood, the loose rocks of this trail were pretty challenging, especially for a novice like myself.
Am I in a rock crawler? This is really, really scary. Rick, we are vertical. Did you just see that? Rick, this is like out of this world.
Here's all you have to do, especially when you're just starting off, is going straight forward up a hill, never a problem. Turning around or backing down, the front end will want to slide over. And if it slides to the side, it can go over. So you gotta, when you start backing up a hill.
He says that with a smile, you see that?
See, I knew that you going up here is not a problem, but if
This was a problem, Rick.
yeah,
This was kind of a problem.
it was?
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm tough. Okay, now this, should I straddle it?
I would, yes. Hold it right here. Stop.
No.
Turn the wheel to the left. Hard.
Rick! Never gonna make the clearance now.
No, you didn't turn fast enough.
You can't stop in the middle of the rock.
depending on how steep and slippery it is. In that particular case,
I could stop.
Well, you could have stopped. We have lots of traction. So what we could do there is we can back down, and you could be on the rock stopped, and this Jeep will just crawl right up all over.
To get out of our little predicament, I had to back it up.
We're off the road. See, you want to back down that ledge down there. You got to go forward again. Okay. Turn to the right. Okay, right there. That's good enough. That's far enough. And now put it in reverse.
It was definitely a lot harder to maneuver on this rocky part of the trail than on the loose gravel.
Turn the wheel to the right. Just slowly.
Okay. Rick.
Yes.
Was that bad?
No, I wouldn't use the word bad. What kept happening is we kept backing up, and the back end kept getting closer to the big rock that would scratch the body back there. Yeah. Although I don't whimper over body damage, I try real hard not to get any of it.
Maybe I should have been looking out my door more.
Yeah. And then that would have helped you straighten the vehicle up.
Okay.
Driving up the mountain was very challenging, so on the way back down, I decided to turn the wheel over to Rick and just sit back and enjoy the ride.
So another tip, Rebecca, is that you can look out to the side and see the tire. So you always ought to know where your left front tire is, and you ought to always know where your left rear tire is, because you can look out your window and see it. There we go. Simple, right?
Yeah.
After the break, I joined back up with the tutorial group as we travel through the rock garden, learning the art of spotting along the way and seeing if just maybe we need to get the winch out. Then it's my biggest test as an off-roader, going vertical.
Welcome back to Truck Stop. With a few lessons under her belt, Rebecca seems a bit more confident. She hangs with the tutorial group, ready to conquer the mountains.
As I learned firsthand, the trails here at Big Bear are very rocky. In fact, this area is called the Rock Garden, and we're in what's called the playground area. To get through it, you definitely need spotters. Spotting is when a person guides the driver through tricky passes. By standing in front of the vehicle and using hand signals, the spotter motions the driver which lines of the trail to follow. This is done to prevent the vehicle from getting stuck, but more importantly, from being damaged or worse, rolling over.
All right, I'm going to help Lyle here through the playground because this here is called the teeter-totter, and I'm the spotter. All right, Lyle!
The playground proved to be a battleground for some of these trucks.
Oh, I'm high-centered.
For Bruce, driving his 1996 Toyota 4Runner with its independent suspension, the Rock Garden got the best of him. It was time to get the winch out.
See, the whole time Bruce has been really worried about everyone picking on him because he doesn't have a solid axle. And this is what happens, right? This is what happens when you don't have a solid axle. And if you really take a look, if you get down, you can see that he's high-centered. See how the axle's in the middle? Very high-centered. Bad. Might need to winch him out.
Lyle, with his solid axle suspension, had no problem making it over. Bruce's independent suspension let him down. So I jumped back into Lyle's truck for an explanation of why one axle configuration is better than the other.
On an independent front suspension or like a double wishbone type setup, when one tire goes up a rock, it has a tendency of lowering the center of the front of the vehicle down, so it kind of makes you lose a little bit of ground clearance versus a solid axle. When one tire goes up, it forces the other tire to go down into the crevice, helping you get better traction. And it also lifts the center of the differential to also give you more clearance around. And they work side by side.
So far, this course has been pretty tough. But there's one more thing to do. Take it to another level.
Bruce is no fear, okay? Also, he believes in me. We're going to go up this rock, right?
Right.
Okay, I saw how you did it.
Yes, we
you
did it
have
one
faith
time.
that I can do this too?
Yes, you should be able to do it. No problem at all.
So what is the thrill behind all of this? I mean, why do you do this?
The adrenaline rush.
Is that what it is?
Yes, the fear of rolling it or wrecking your vehicle. And being able to pull off a stunt that nobody else can do.
That's the fun, the fear of it. Going on like that cliffside, like that edge is like
edge.
the adrenaline rush that you crave.
Right. Didn't you enjoy it when we went up the first time?
I did, yeah. Okay, so tell me what we're going to do.
Okay, we got a certain line that we're going to take the truck up.
Okay.
Let me show you over here.
Okay.
We have this rock right here, and we want to take the driver's side front tire, drive it straight up this rock, so the tire goes up this rock and goes straight up right here, and then you'll turn the steering a little bit to the driver's, so it lines up better with the rear, and you'll go straight up this way.
Bruce explains that when he says driver, I turn left, and passenger, I turn right. I put it in low gear, and I'm ready to hit the sky.
Here, hold it right there.
Okay.
You got it?
Driver?
No, hold it right there.
Do nothing?
Do nothing.
Do nothing? Okay.
Looks good.
Oh, you think?
No, a little bit, driver. A little bit gas, Get off the brake. Turn right. Turn left.
Driver?
Hold it. Turn. Passenger, driver. Keep the gas on. Okay, slow down. There you go.
I did it! Yes! You know. That was good. Bruce, I did it. So that was so cool. I see what you mean now. When you're in that low of a gear, it's like the truck does all the work for you.
Right. It's safe that way. It's stable, and you can take a nice slow pace at it, and there's no chance of doing something really silly and rolling the truck.
Wow, what a weekend. We learned how to truly modify your truck to make it off-road ready. I got my gold star as a rock trail rough rider, and we learned if you meet the right off-road group, they're not only going to watch your back on the trail, but in life as well. Until next week's adventure on Truck Stop, I'm Rebecca Grant.